What is up, fantasy players and football fanatics? It is another episode of Dynasty Pylon. My name is Martin. I'm here with my good friend Mark and with Casey, coming back for a second show. What is up? How's it going? What you guys been up to lately?
Just school. I don't work anymore.
Yes.
Praise you for that.
That's good. That's good. I know Mark has been working for Hitler in the last couple years, I guess, and then we kind of came to a conclusion. Hey, let's do a show on Wednesdays, and then, hey, I just need Wednesdays off. No show for you. You have to work and slave for me, so you can't even join our shows. But I'm glad you're here. School started. Casey, how are you out in Seattle?
Things are good. Still sunshine. No rain yet.
Really?
So, yeah,
That's
we're doing
crazy.
good. Yeah.
It's like raining like a mofo here. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah. It just rained yesterday. So I don't understand. We're out in the
That's
desert.
pretty rare. Yeah. That doesn't happen every day there.
No, it doesn't. And you're were you a local here, or just were you actually?
No, I just lived there for 6 years.
Okay.
So I was in the valley for a little bit, but yeah, the rain is rare. So I think it's just a matter of time before we flip flop.
Oh yeah, probably. I give it another couple weeks. I mean, I'm surprised you haven't had any since then.
A couple drops, but really not much at all. So we're running with it for now.
Well, that's good. So how are you accumulating with the Seattle Seahawks fans out there?
Not well. Got in 4 or 5 fights already. No, I'm just kidding. Doing good though. I mean, season starts next Sunday. I think they got the Colts week 1, so I'm gonna go out and watch that. One of my buddies is actually a Colts fan, so we're gonna head to one of the bars here and cheer on the opposite team. But yeah, it's good. I don't know what it's like come season. I know it's crazy with the whole 12th man thing, so I'll see it in action here shortly.
Right. Oh man, I bet that's kind of exciting. Are you planning on going to try and get tickets this season, or are you probably gonna wait?
I'll try. I've heard they're just astronomically expensive.
Maybe get some nosebleeds in there.
$200-300 for nosebleeds even. So
I think that's everywhere.
It's actually better than Carolina.
Is it?
Sounds like, oh yeah. I went to a Carolina game and it was like $500 for nosebleeds.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, it was worth it. It was for my birthday, and it was like a 3-hour drive because we were kind of like we lived further away from where Charlotte was at. But it was a really fun time. This is when Cam Newton was Superman at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was just a beast when everyone hated him there. But
yeah,
but it's all good. So today we are going to talk about receivers, the sleepers, anybody who you think is. Get them sleepers, them deep sleepers. So maybe some DBs. I have a couple of sleepers DBs that I actually want to bring up today, and then we'll kind of jump into a little kind of a trade secret that I kind of consider actually brought up to Mark actually like not too long ago, and he actually just kind of blew his mind. And like, I didn't even think about that. I'm like, yeah, I mentioned it last week. It was basically stacking IDP. You really can't do it, but you kind of can. But before we go into that, recent news which kind of blew everyone's mind, and I'm pretty sure if you haven't heard of it yet, you're in a cave. I'm so surprised that they cut Cam Newton out of New England. I really thought that you would at least keep him even as a backup. But I was just surprised. I don't know.
I was shocked too.
I read it. I was like, nah, that's fake. And then sure enough, he's no longer on the roster. So what do you think for his future? You think he's done, or do you think he's gonna actually some were saying Houston, which I think is a good spot for him. Unfortunately, people are like, nah, I can't see that. Even the Cowboys are going after him. From what it sounds
I saw 3 teams: Cowboys, Texans, and Washington.
Really, Washington?
Yeah. Well, Ron Rivera.
Well, it doesn't. Yeah. Oh, well, I do see it now. Now you just opened up the door for that. That's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think he would fit there though?
Oh, he'd probably be a backup or third, probably.
Under Fitzpatrick?
Fitzpatrick and Heineke.
Oh, under Heineke as well? I would think he'd be number 2.
Maybe number 2, probably number 2. But I think Allen would be gone because they already have 3 quarterbacks on the roster. So
I thought Kyle Allen's still a thing.
yeah, he's still there.
Who's the Pats' new backup then?
Do they still have Hoyer?
Mac Jones. Is it Hoyer?
Or do they still have? I think it's Hoyer.
Right.
But I mean, dude, Mac Jones is it, man. He's the guy. I was just like this whole time it seemed like Cam Newton was like taking first round reps and being the guy, and he was going to be it. And then all of a sudden we hear this, and it was just kind of blew the news, and we're like, whoa. So, I mean, I don't know if that's. To me, it wasn't a smart move because then I think you lack depth. But again, I'm not an NFL head coach, and this isn't my team, and I don't think about that. But I'm pretty sure he has some type of plan. If Mac Jones doesn't make the entire season, I mean, not only is he a rookie, you're asking him to play 17 weeks, and I've mentioned this weeks, maybe months ahead, or before this, that these rookies, they're coming in. And this is probably the most time they're ever going to play. They're used to 10 to 13 games in college, in high school, and now you're asking them to play 17 weeks.
Yeah, but he went to Alabama, and they play like 15, 16 a year.
He is coming out of the SEC on that level, too, where the guys are more physical, but you're reaching a whole new level come NFL. And now, 17 games. They were up there in the SEC for sure, but I personally don't know how he's going to handle 17 weeks or what the plan is there. That's why I don't get why they cut him.
I mean, it's not like they were, breaking the bank for him. I mean, wasn't he still on his little cheap contract?
Yeah, I don't think he was
10 million, yeah.
Oh, it was 10?
Yeah, I think it was like 10 million 1 year.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so cool. I guess.
I'm wondering if it had something to do with what came out last week, where he was kind of suspended or put on the COVID protocol because he disagreed with the rules and he got caught breaking them.
Belichick doesn't really deal with that type of stuff either.
Yeah, maybe something in the front office. There has to be some underlying
something that's not actually that we don't know about.
Yeah.
So probably. But I don't know. That's very surprising. So also Packers and Saints. So I guess with the issue that's going on in New Orleans, they're not going to be able to play there. So they are going to play in, what was it, TIAA Bank?
Yes.
Which was also formerly known as Everbank. I don't know. I thought that's what it was called, but I guess, TIA Bank. But yeah, they're playing there. So that's good. We still get to see them. We still get to play there and have without any games canceled. That's not towards any issues towards COVID. So I'm glad we still get to that. And plus, it's better for our fantasy league. And we get to see Jameis Winston take control of that team. I'm actually excited for that. It should have been the guy last season, but Taysom Hill is still a thing there. I really hope he just doesn't play this season. Why is he even there?
No.
So, receivers. Do you guys want to talk about your sleepers or who you guys think have in your later rounds? I have about 5 guys on my list. I don't know if you guys actually think about later rounds. I know these are guys I'll probably take in my later 13th to 16th round, depending on how deep your leagues go. So I don't know if Mark, you want to go first, or if Casey want to go first, or if I could kind of name off a couple of my guys. It's up to you.
I can go first.
All right.
My guy's DJ Chark.
Okay. Damn.
That shocked me.
That's high for me, man. I went deeper than that. So DJ Chark, do you think he's a sleeper to people?
Well, I don't know. This is in Jacksonville. I don't think many people. They haven't had a quarterback in who knows how long. So
is it because of all the Laviska Shenault talk?
Huh?
And is it because of the Laviska Shenault talk and the Marvin Jones talk? So you think everyone just kind of on DJ Chark.
Yeah. I don't know.
mean,
I just think he finally has a quarterback to throw him the ball. I think he should be the number one receiver there.
oh, I think he should be too, no doubt. I just think that, last season was really bad. I mean, I'm a DJ Chark owner, and I did not play him. I think the only time I actually started him was against Houston, and that was it. And that's what's funny is that was probably the only time he actually did anything. So I mean, I agree with people probably not actually taking him and probably doubting him. As for sleeper, I'm not too sure if I'm on that same boat with you though. I think he'll still get drafted higher than what predicted. I mean, do you have his ADP? I actually didn't even look it up.
No, I don't know his ADP, but on here they had him ranked in Boston.
Well, while you find
Chenault is higher though, I guess.
Well, yeah, because everyone's talking about Chenault. Chenault's this, Chenault that. Like that's all Trevor Lawrence is locked onto.
Oh yeah, I guess he's 34.
Yeah, see, for me, that's I don't know, man. That's still kind of high for me. But for one of my sleepers though, I know a lot of people are talking about the Jets and how well Zach Wilson's doing. Now I couldn't decide which one, and they're both Zach Wilson's weapons, but people probably don't know about Elijah Moore. People probably know about Corey Davis. How he went there, but I think Elijah Moore might come back off. I think he has an injury or something, but nothing too crazy. I think he's going to be back by week 1. I mean, he's one of mine, but I think that Elijah Moore is probably going to be a decent sleeper. His ADP is at 56 right now. So, I mean, a lot of people probably don't really even know who he is. At least redrafters. Dynasty, he's probably first, third, second rounder. But I mean, for me, I know, and a lot of people are actually sleeping on the Jets. No one really wants to know about the Jets. Jets suck. Jets are horrible. But if you watch it, Jets aren't doing too bad in preseason. I think Elijah Moore is going to actually one of the sneaky weapons towards the later rounds.
Jets do look reasonable, so I could see something happening there.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the new rookie quarterback at the helm, I think they've got something in store. To me though, it's hard calling sleepers on the Jets. I like that pick, but it's just kind of hard because you don't know how that offense is going to run, how Wilson's going to be, who he's going to target, and they look pretty good in preseason. So I think it's fair to take someone out of there. It's just so hard to say, especially with a team like the Jets. But
like I said, everyone thinks they suck. And again, I think if you get them in your later rounds, I don't think it would hurt.
Yeah, I agree. The upside's there.
Yeah, definitely. I think he has a high ceiling. I mean, especially in the future in dynasty leagues, I think that if you have Zach Wilson paired up with Elijah Moore, they're going to be there for at least a good 4 seasons minimum. So there's chemistry. I do not doubt that he will be the new number 1, regardless that Corey Davis is there. But I think Elijah Moore will eventually be that guy because the hype on him is ridiculous in training camp. We didn't really see him though, but I think when he gets back, I think everything's going to be fine though.
Yeah, definitely. And I actually had to hop on the Laviska train as well. I know he could be mid to late rounds. I mean, I still had him in there though, because I think that Jacksonville offense is going to be a blast to watch. So I had him in there, kind of around the same rounds too. I think a good snag towards the middle end, right in those rounds is Will Fuller. I really liked him in Texas, and I think he's going to do something in Miami too. So it's, again, I think he had that suspension or whatever last year, so he's out through week 1. But if possible, I'm trying to grab him in some of my leagues too, just to toss him in there. And
that's interesting. I think he's out the first 3 or 4 games actually.
I feel like he can never complete a season.
I know he gets hurt.
Something going on with him. Like I don't.
Suspended, hurt.
I wouldn't even waste a pick with him. You did this to me last week. You brought in Philip Lindsay or someone that I didn't even.
Yep.
Like. They're just people I don't even like want to touch, and he's one of those guys I don't want to touch at all. Like, what is it going to be this season?
Yeah.
Last season it wasn't even injury related, but yeah, he still managed to get himself kicked out of the league, or for that season suspended. I was like, PPEs. I'm like, Jesus, dude. But was it the PPEs that helped him stay healthy? like I don't know. Like, what was that really the reason why? I just I don't know, dude.
Similar scenario to Mostert. It's a similar pick there. I would rather have Fuller over Mostert though, just given the injury and improbability there. I mean, pick your poison. But if you want to go a little later too, a couple more rounds, Henry Ruggs, I think is going to have a little bit more of a breakout year with Las Vegas. Given that they don't have a lot of depth at the receiver end, they've got Waller and Derek Carr in a returning offense, and I think that Ruggs' time to kind of pop off could be this year.
What about Edwards?
It's I don't know.
I feel like Edwards can be. They're both in the same boat. And last season, the hype was on Edwards, even though Henry Ruggs was the first round draft pick.
Yeah.
Isn't Williams still there? Terrence Williams or Tyrell Williams, something like that.
I think so.
He's still there, right? But I think the easy number one, number two would be Ruggs and Edwards. If anything, I think Edwards might actually live up to what we actually hyped up last season. He could be that sneaky pick too, as like a big deep sleeper.
Where do you see him getting picked then? Waiver wire or like end to end?
I would see that at the end.
Okay.
Last round for sure.
Snagging him.
Yeah, because I think Ruggs, everyone kind of still remembers him as being the first round draft pick.
For sure, yeah.
I mean, the Raider fan is going to pick him up.
Yeah, definitely. They have Renfro too, actually.
Yeah, Hunter Renfro. That's what it was. Yeah. So, but no, I mean, I think it'd be all right. I think Edwards is going to have a chance to actually do. If they both can stay healthy and actually produce anything, I think they'll be a deep threat, both of them, because Derek Carr can't actually get it down there. But again, if he's not scrambling, maybe he can have some time behind the pocket. Now, I don't see that happening. Why? Because that entire line is new, fresh. I don't know what's going on in there, but I don't know. We'll see. It's very mysterious on what John Gruden's head is thinking every day of his life, and you never know. We might have a new offensive line halfway through the season. So
could be.
I don't know. But I have another one. I have Russell Gage as another sleeper, only because Julio Jones is out. So Calvin Ridley obviously now takes the place of number one, and I feel comfortable with him being the number one. I think it took last season to figure out, like, it was a breakout. He finally kind of took over the helm, and I think he's comfortable with number one. And then all the attention on Kyle Pitts. He's a monster. He's huge. Now, I think that they'll be focused on those two. Now, that leaves Russell Gage, and if they go double tight end, they could use Hayden Hurst as that sneaky little dump pass off right there to 5-yard gainers right there. But I think Russell Gage has a very ninja-like sneak attack with all the attention to those two. The linebackers are going to be on Pitts like white on rice, and then of course all definitely. The DBs are going to be with on Calvin Ridley. So I think Russell Gage actually has a chance. Now, is he drafted? I don't know. Definitely, I think he's going to be a first-week waiver, just because I think somehow the beginning of the week they're against the Eagles. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Eagles DBs aren't that great. If history repeats itself.
History will repeat itself.
Yeah, they're not going to be good. They're not going to be good.
The Eagles DBs aren't really that, they're not that great, man. But we'll see how it goes. But I think Russell Gage might actually be the first week waiver wire. I'm not that, but we'll see. That's my number. That's my number one, number two. But we're speaking of the Eagles DB. I have one of my as my sleeper. Now, if you play IDP, now IDP is basically no defenses. You just have your actual defensive players, your tackles, your sacks, your interceptions, and sack for yards, and all that. All that is counted towards points. I mentioned the Eagles DBs. There's only one DB I'm actually looking at, and that's Anthony Harris. I think he was a former Viking, and he signed with Philadelphia. He had 7 pass deflections with 58 tackles. It's not that great, but being here in the Eagles, since like he now becomes that new stud. I think that he now becomes that. Obviously, everyone's all on. Was it Alex Highsmith, the linebacker? Obviously, he's going to eat up all the tackles and basically everything. But I think Anthony Harris is going to be probably a good sleeper pick. He's ranked at 52 on an ADP right now and he's my 4th guy. I have 3 guys above him, but I know we jumped on the Eagles. I figured I'd just throw that out of the way.
Yeah. Does Harris slot in as a cornerback or as a safety though?
I think he plays as
a
little bit of both. But let's see here. He's slotted at safety, I believe. Let me verify that.
I don't know what they're going to use him as.
Yeah, safety.
Yeah.
Safety, okay.
Yeah,
Still, though.
Sleeper, though, corners and safeties are all slotted as corners.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's DBs. I mean, if you want to get into more technical, if you go to MFL, My Fantasy Football League, that one I think will probably determine him as a safety, not so much as a corner. But I think as his career's been progressed, he slowly have been getting better, higher in the rankings. I think he hits top 100 this season for sure. In my opinion, I think he does, without a doubt. Just because the Eagles need help and everything and anything there, I think he becomes one of the main solid DBs there for the Eagles with him and Alex Highsmith. I think they're going to be a good threat duo. But needless to say, I'm still going to start all my receivers against them. 2 guys out of the 11 isn't going to be a lot to stop them, but I mean, that's only 2 guys. So. Anyways, Mark, you got anything over there?
I like Morwig for the Raiders. I think he's gonna
rookie.
Huh? Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Right off the bat, first season.
Okay. Yeah, who else do they have back there? They don't really have anybody, and I think he's going to be the number 1 safety.
I think he's starting right away. I mean,
yeah.
I remember in our draft we were actually looking at. I think I had drafted Richard Grant. And then Mooring was one of them I was looking at, but I think I took Richard Grant over him just because it's a little safer. Mm-hmm. But no, I mean, there's nothing. I can't think of anything going on with besides the lineman in Raiders with his Max Crosby and who's in Ngakwe. He just got there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's their linebacker?
Corey I was gonna say,
who did nothing.
Yeah, I was gonna say their linebackers aren't great, so I feel like running backs will definitely be getting to the secondary.
Yeah, for sure.
But I also think Morwig is a ball hawk; like he'll be getting those picks too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't even think about him. I didn't even consider like as being as a rookie there. Like,
no, I was hoping we actually drafted him because we needed a safety, but. Raiders got him.
You got Collins and Curl. I mean, come on.
They both play the same position.
You can just move one over. And besides,
that's
Collins
what I thought,
but
apparently not.
Collins plays in the box, which I hope they play him there. As for safety, I don't know. I really hope they play him a little closer to the box. I think Landon Collins is better there. But because didn't they move someone from safety over to linebacker position?
It was supposed to be Collins, but I don't think they did it.
Okay. I know there was rumors about it, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I think he's still just a safety.
Okay. So I know we're talking about receivers and DBs. I mentioned this last week when Casey was here. I know you can't really stack on IDP. There's just no way. Like you can't. There's no one that feeds off another person. I mean, maybe if you have the same lineman and the same linebacker off the same team, and maybe the lineman opens it up for your linebacker, but that's still kind of a risky move. I was actually talking about if you had a running back with your linebacker that were in the same division, but in this case, we're talking about receivers and DBs. For instance, if you had, let's take, the first one that came to my example was Jeremy Chin and Calvin Ridley. They're both elite guys, and the only reason I probably thought about it is because I own them both, so just kind of right there. But that's 2 games at least that they're going to play against each other, and they're both elite guys. They're going to see each other at least twice. Now, if you grab another person from the same division, potentially you could see another repetition of that, 2 more games added to that. I know it's not a lot, and I know it's not anything that you should definitely be thinking about in your draft. I'm not saying that, because if you go in your draft thinking that, you're probably going to screw yourself. But during the season, if you think about it and you see that, oh, hey, they're in the same division, they're 2 elite guys, at least they're going to see each other and produce maybe an extra 5 points because your receiver is going to run into your DB, and your DB is going to battle it out with your receiver. That's a small advantage that you probably have against your opponent. Again, I'm not saying think about that during your draft, because that's definitely not what you should be doing.
No.
Those 5-6 points that you potentially get extra are not going to be worth it. All right. But I'm just saying it's something that you could probably think about. I mean, it's kind of like an IDP stack, kind of. I think we were thinking about this, and I think, Mark, you had said you had a receiver in DBs. You had 2 or 3 of them, right?
Yeah, Cam Curl and CD Lamb.
Okay. Well, no, I thought wasn't there another one? Wasn't it like
Humphreys and Juju.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, and then they're gonna see each other twice, right? And they're both good. So, I mean, it's nothing, like I said, it's not something you think about, but it's something you could do in season.
No, it's very interesting, because I mean,
if you end up with the same guys.
Because like if you have, especially if like a number 1 receiver, they're going to get a lot of targets, and if you have the cornerback that's lining up against them, those targets are going his direction.
Yeah,
which gives him more of an opportunity to get picks or deflections or tackles.
Right. So that's another extra points on that. So.
Yeah.
And you mentioned direction. Now, when I hear that, I also think not all DBs are just because they're a big name, like Jalen Ramsey. Okay, just because it's a good name doesn't mean he's good at IDP. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, Jalen Ramsey for fantasy football IDP purposes sucks.
Dude, the ranking I just saw, he was 70 something.
He sucks, and the reason is because nobody throws to him. Exactly. So I'm just saying, if you're doing IDP for the first time, and you're listening to the first time about what is IDP, don't always think that because they're a big name doesn't always mean that they produce. Like Tyrann Mathieu is okay because he's a safety. Corners are a little bit harder position. You have to study a little bit more. But I'm telling you right now, not all big names are worth it in fantasy football. I'm telling you right now. Like Jalen Ramsey, I want no part of. Maybe he'll get an interception here and there and then run it back to the house. But then, are you really starting him? No. I mean, it's just common sense. They're not throwing his way. And that's what makes him the best, because his average are really low because nobody throws to him. So, anyways. So yeah, had to get that out there. A little something to think about. But anyways, receivers and NDBs. What else you got, Casey? Any other sleepers that you had?
Receivers wise, that's all I have for right now.
Okay.
DBs too. I like the point you made too. Just considering who's on both ends of the ball at all times, especially in an IDP league. Mark, I don't know, did you join the IDP league with Martin as well?
Yes, I did.
Okay, yeah. So I still need to get into one, and I might just head into some random league and draft IDP just to get an idea of what it's like, and maybe compete with you guys next year. But Yeah, definitely a lot more to think about, like you said too, and just taking some of your advice because you never know who's on what side of the ball, who's going to get thrown at more, less, and granted, you're not always taking that into effect during your draft, but during the season, that's a lot to kind of watch with some of those individual players, just making sure that they're having those matchups and going to have those targets where they can actually accumulate points, which is the whole new game you've got to add into this IDP.
Yeah, but it's also fun though. Like just watching, like you're not just always watching offense now, and that's what I love about it. It's like I can't tell you how many times I got excited for a sack or a tackle behind the lines. Like I actually jumped off my couch a couple of times over a sack, and it was like, oh sweet, because that was my guy. Especially the linebackers. Oh my goodness, they're just everywhere.
Or back-to-back fumbles taken to the house.
Yes. Yes.
I feel like the anxiety watching NFL Red Zone though just spikes.
Oh,
like now,
God, yes.
Now you're not just waiting for your quarterback and your receiver to take the field. You're watching every side of the ball every game.
I mean, Mark brought up the double fumble back to back. Dude, it blew my mind. I'm like, dude, I alone single-handedly just won off of one guy. I got my like 20, almost 30 points. But and it happens that it's very rare, but that depends on how your settings are. I mean, if your IDP league has 6 points for a touchdown and then the yards, so it's a fumble recovery, and then okay, how many points can you get in a single like sack, QB hit, fumble recovery, the yards, then the touchdown?
Yeah.
I mean, and they're all different. They're all graded differently, but if they all get bundled up into one, like you basically won the league or the week off of that one IDP. But it's so rare, but it happens because typically these guys get about 3 to 5 tackles, 8. I mean, Roquan Smith was averaging freaking 10 a game last season, so screw that guy. But I mean, but I mentioned get the studs on the duds. Roquan Smith is a stud who would presumably was a dud defensive team. So from preseason, I think we might get another repeat on that. So hopefully with that, we won't get yelled at from our Bears friends out there. If maybe Tank's watching right now, but
they might agree with us.
I don't know. From the show that we were seeing yesterday, I think I can agree that they are not too hyped up on their defense. And if you missed out yesterday's show, they were basically talking about their DBs and stuff like that. And if you want a good show over the Chicago Bears, watch the Pan and Grizzly show. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I watch it for Marvin. Marvin's a funny guy, man. He comes in and he just talks all kinds of crap, but it's a good guys. But then, are you guys joining us on Sunday for the morning spike?
Yeah.
I'm not able to. I might have to tune in.
Are you sleeping? Don't lie.
I might be.
Are you gonna be sleeping? It's fine, man. It's cool. It's like 7 o'clock, 8 a.m. at your time. I wake up just because my body's just like that with the Army.
If I can train my body to do that, then I might be joining in. But at least for right now, I'm taking the pass.
Yeah, but there you go. See, Tank's watching. He says not happy with the defense we have. Yeah, and it seemed like you guys aren't. But again, I brought up Roquan Smith. He is a stud on a dud defense, and you always want to look for that. Any linebacker from maybe Seattle. But that's just what I think, in my opinion. And New Bears head coach Mark. Yes. Oh, yesterday we were actually just the things he was saying were like we voted him for new head coach for the Bears rather than Matt Nagy. So it's pretty funny, just the things he says. But yeah, if you want to check him out, that's a Panda Grizzly show on Tuesdays. But yeah, good friends. So I have 2, maybe 3 more. I'm just gonna go real quick. Say them real quick. Jacoby Myers. Marquez Callaway, and Terrence Marshall, rookie.
Okay.
So those are my final three receiver-wise. What do you think about those three? Jacoby Myers, Marquez Callaway, and Terrence Marshall.
Terrence Marshall, was it the Panthers?
Yes.
Remind me, yeah? Okay.
Yes, and I think nobody. I don't even think if any. I've heard no chatter about him. He is the number 3 guy.
Yeah, I haven't heard much about him either, but I also don't see a lot of people drafting. But he definitely could be that waiver wire watch, because it is kind of up in the air at receiver and quarterback situation, just getting guys the ball. So,
thank you. I'm so glad you mentioned.
Yeah, I think
I'm about to say something.
Yeah, I think he's got some upside.
Okay, and I unless Mark, you want to say something because
I was going to say he's another one who finally has a quarterback who can throw him the ball.
I know you and I like Sam Darnold.
Think Sam Darnold's going to blow up this year.
Yes,
I really do.
I think you and I are probably the only 2 people in the world that are so excited for Sam Darnold's future. Right
That's
now.
my sleeper pick from the dynasty draft last year.
He will be better now than he was with the Jets.
Like, people forget. Okay, here's what the Jets did compared when Sam was there. They didn't upgrade his line for him. I mean, yeah, they got him freaking what's his face, the left tackle. Just goddamn it. I say his name all the time. But he's huge. I can't think of his name. But he ran like a 4.5, 4.4 for a lineman, left tackle. Yeah. I can't remember his name for the life of me. And then they drafted another lineman in their first or second round this season. And I again,
more protection.
I just cannot think of their names right now. But they set up Zach Wilson with weapons. They got him a line. They got him running backs. They have everything they need for Zach Wilson, and I think this is why he looks so good. Now, if Sam Darnold's still there, would we be saying the same thing? I think so. But also, a big issue is there's no more Adam Gase. That was the biggest issue. And when Ryan Tannehill left, Jets, he balled out. And I just think that Sam Darnold now is going to be in a better organization with better weapons and a better line. Well, from what he experienced last season, I am ready. I am so excited for DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and Terrence Marshall. And then whoever they have at tight end, whoever they decide who they're going to use, because I know there's you got from what fantasy footballers call him, the postman, Donald, who came out of Arizona, and then Smith, and then Tommy Tremble, the rookie, who I'm excited for, but I know no one's gonna know who he is until probably 2-3 years from now. But Tommy Tremble's an elite guy. Look him up. But yeah, Terrence Marshall, I think is going to be. I think he's definitely going to be a waiver pick. I might actually use my last pick on him. If I draft him my last pick, I guarantee you he's going to ball out in one of these weeks. It might take him this first 3 weeks. I mean,
what you got to be patient with.
Yeah, what week was it? Justin Jefferson finally broke out, like week 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was a little late. Yeah,
it's like 7, 8.
So this guy can be him. I'm not saying talent wise. Every player is different and they have their own attributes to the game. Because I know a lot of people are hating on Jamar Chase right now, and everyone's saying he was a lot better and he's going to do better. But Justin Jefferson didn't do anything in the preseason either. So BB Johnson was going to start over him, and he did start over him. And then it wasn't until week 7 or 8, then Justin Jefferson was a thing. Then Justin Jefferson was the number 1. Then everyone's like, oh, he is the main guy. So I would be patient with the Justin Jefferson owners. If you're out there listening, if you're going to see this, look, man, give it some time. It's preseason. Maybe this is just what he needs. But I know we went
a good patient pick
to Chase
real
quickly. But yeah, no, I think Terrence Marshall is going to be. I think he's going to be a good thing.
I'm
it's
excited.
Not Teddy Bridgewater back there.
Yeah. New game.
Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. I don't know. You guys want to have any receivers, DBs? 'Cause I'm gonna keep going, man. I'm gonna keep going.
I
so
had
you guys
another
cut me off.
receiver.
Okay, go for it.
It's a bit of a homer pick, but De'Ami Brown.
I love that.
He's already moved up to number 3 on the depth chart. So
I definitely love that pick.
I think with Scary Terry getting double covered, and if Curtis Samuel even plays, I don't even know if he's still on the pup. No, I think he came off the pup list.
I think he came off. I think
he's
he'll be
barely started doing anything with the team, so I don't know what his status is for week 1. But
he'll have relevance, though.
Yeah, but I mean that puts De'Ami Brown at least at 3, if not 2, possibly.
Don't forget about Logan Thomas either.
And then Logan Thomas, and then he's a 3rd-round pick by the Washington football team. If you look at their last two, Scary Terry and Antonio Gibson. So
yeah, your 3rd rounders always.
We seem to hit home runs with their 3rd-round picks. So
yeah,
hope the trend continues.
I hope so. I really hope.
Me too.
I think you guys are set up perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if Fitzpatrick can stay healthy, let's hope. I hope that whole team, because I am so excited for Antonio Gibson. You have no idea. For the next couple of years, he is going to be so good.
I know.
And I'm so good. I don't think he's going to reach Christian McCaffrey-esque. Everyone was talking about yet. And if he does, that'll be great.
Yeah.
I don't think it will be that yet. But we'll see, because they're not.
He has potential, though.
Oh, he's a great athlete. He's good. I have no doubt about that. So we were talking about Terrence Marshall, but I also forgot one of my DBs who I forgot to mention was AJ Tyrell, 1st-round draft pick last season, Atlanta Falcons. No one really heard about him because he only did like 61 tackles, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 interception, which was towards the beginning of the season. And then after that, it was kind of died down. Falcons suck. Start your receivers against Falcons. Why? Because they suck. And that's okay. But I think AJ Tyrell, he's ranked at 48. I think that he is going to definitely be the main DB there because Richie Grant is a rookie, but then AJ Tyrell is mainly like the sophomore there. So he's going to probably be the strongest DB there, veteran-wise. Because let's be honest, Falcons. Yeah. What do they have over there? I mean,
he's got to be the cornerstone of that defense.
Yeah.
I mean, I can name them just because I'm a Falcons fan, but I mean, linebacker-wise, they have 3 good ones, in my opinion. But I think the rest of the world of IDP don't really know them. I mean, Deion Jones, everyone knows, and then Michael Walker is probably going to break out this season. That's my little. I think Michael Walker is going to break out this season. But then you have Foyce Oluokun, who nobody can say except for me. Foyce Oluokun actually surprised people, but again, I think with those 3 there, linebackers, they're set. AJ Terrell is going to break out this season. I expect great things from him, IDP wise, but still overall, that defense is still hellfire cell that you could just run everyone and anything on them. There's too many holes and pieces there. So that's definitely one defense I probably won't draft just because there's not enough talent there yet.
Yeah. Yet.
Yeah.
It's the big key.
Keyword, yes, definitely.
Well, that would require them to, admit they need to, scrap everything and redo everything.
Oh man, I've been saying that for 2
I know.
seasons. Like, I'm sorry, I love these guys, but come on, man, like just trade them away. Here's one thing I do like about Arthur Blank, though. He doesn't play his starters in preseason, which I think every NFL team should do. You might see every now and then 1 or 2 of them. I think we saw Pittsburgh the first time last week. What's up?
Is it Baltimore Ravens? Take some notes.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But in all fairness, he was only he only played 10 snaps from what he said. It only took 10 snaps for him to end his freaking season.
Snap his ACL.
Yeah. So we'll go into that tomorrow. I think we'll go do a keep trade cut with Cam Akers, Travis Etienne, and J.K. Dobbins. Keep trade cut. Which one are you going to choose? Because they're all in the same boat. So.
Yep.
But yeah, other than that though, I have Jeff Acuta from Detroit. Also, I think he's a first
Acuta.
round draft pick from last season. Again, didn't really do much, only an interception, 41 tackles last season. And then you got Logan Ryan. I think is going to be a sneaky pick because everyone and their mom loves Jabril Peppers, except for me because I hate him a little bit just because he screwed me 5 weeks last season. So I dropped him. And after I dropped him, what happens? They all do good. That's exactly what happened. So I kind of hate Jabril Peppers a little bit, but he's still a good guy. Logan Ryan and also Amani Hooker out of Tennessee, only because he's taken the place of where Butler now left, who Butler retired recently.
Did he actually retire? I heard he was thinking
so,
about it. I heard he was thinking about it. I didn't know if he actually
did. He's out the door, man.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you might actually want to talk to somebody in our league about that.
Yeah. Pretty sure they have them.
Yeah. We brought it up to him, but I don't know if you saw the chat or not. We were making fun of him.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I heard it was in the air, but I didn't know if he actually pulled the trigger on it.
But I think Amani Hooker is going to be he's ranked 35 right now. So for taking the place of Tennessee Titan Butler, I think he's going to do pretty decent there. But again, all these guys are I think are going to be breakouts. I think they're going to be sleeper picks in your IDP drafts. Definitely probably choose them. I mean, depending on IDP drafts, usually are a little bit longer, and sometimes they go to 20 rounds, just because you have to get defense and offense. So
yep.
Yeah. What do you have anything to say about that, Casey? Anything?
I need some more knowledge on it. I'll tell you that.
Well, I mean, what is like a biggest question that's kind of like how does it work? Like anything that come to mind? Because when you think of IDP, you think of the tackles, the sacks, the interceptions, yards.
Yeah. I guess just which stat is the most valuable? Like what adds the most value to a defense?
Linebackers. Your linebackers are your QBs. Because they're not only do they produce the most sacks because of the running back.
Sack, tackle, knocking down some balls.
Yeah, like they intercept.
Yeah, they basically do everything.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you have Isaiah Simmons or Xavier Collins, and yeah, I know they're on the same team, but they're fast. These guys are going to be everywhere. From sideline to sideline linebacker, you've heard that term before.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the guys you want. I mean, those guys are quick. They're there everywhere. I know Roquan Smith obviously is everywhere. And then TJ Watt, who
of course,
sneaky pick linebacker, defensive lineman on sleeper. He still has that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Mark?
Yep.
Yeah. So those guys you kind of want to shoot for. But yeah, man, I think like I said, we'll go around my list real quick. Elijah Moore, Russell Gage, Jacoby Myers, Marquez Callaway, Terrence Marshall. We didn't really hit Jacoby Myers, but I think he has a injury or something like that. He's coming back from COVID. I know there's an issue, but I think he's going to be there week 1, I think. But yeah. And then Amani Hooker from DBs from Tennessee, Logan Ryan from New York, AJ Tyrell, Atlanta, Anthony Harris out of Philadelphia, and Jeff Acuta out of Detroit. Those are my sleeper guys, both offense and defense. I think, again, that secret that you could probably put them against each other on the same division. I think you could score a little bit extra points. Again, don't strategize around that.
Yeah.
It's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying.
If it happens, it happens. It's nice, but I wouldn't that's not what I'm going to gun for if I'm drafting.
Right. If it happens, it happens. I think when you and I compared our teams, you had more receivers and DBs in the same division, where I had more of the running backs and linebackers in the same division. I just now realized that I have Landon Collins, Micah Parsons lined up with Miles Sanders and Antonio Gibson. So I have 4 guys I can play with and rearrange, and then including my 2 games of Calvin Ridley and Jeremy Chin. But I mean, we'll again don't strategize around that. I'm just saying in season you could do that. So yeah, we're coming up an hour. I know I've been talking majority, just kind of like rambling on. But that's what I do.
Yeah.
So
But talking about one of the guys you were talking
cut
about,
me off, man.
the upside, I like Jabril Peppers just because he also returns kicks, and that adds to his total.
It does. It does.
Oh,
And
so
then
that's a part of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the same thing if the offensive guy does it too, because I also have Hines for Indy, who also returns kicks. That also goes to his point total as well.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Every yard
pretty cool.
counts.
So yeah, definitely a lot to watch for there.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
and it's cool because like I remember Jeff Acuta, Jabril Peppers. I was so excited for him, and then he did nothing. Then he got hurt. I think that's when I think that's where I got frustrated.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, he's done for like 3 weeks, and then someone else picked him up. But that's something you want to look at too, because a lot of corners they actually do have that returning ability to punts, and some of they do kick returns as well. And
Yeah,
if they
so
take it to the house, that's
whole another
100
part of the
yards.
game to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
definitely.
man, definitely.
Real quick in there too. I'm gonna actually have to head out.
We're leaving right now.
So okay, didn't know if you guys want to continue on a little bit longer.
No, we usually hit an hour. No more than that. I mean, for sure we're probably gonna go a bit longer the next couple of weeks because as people we're gonna do start sit questions. But real quick, I mean, if I don't know if you're planning on doing another podcast here soon.
Definitely,
anything.
yeah. It's taken a little detour for a minute. Just things been very crazy lately, but yeah, we'll be getting one on here in the next 2 days. So yeah, again, Tater Tot Sports Talk. We're on Spotify. We'll be coming at you this week. No video again on that, but we are on Spotify. Trying to get on Apple Music right now as well. So appreciate the shout out there. Yeah,
For sure, man. Mark.
The last thing I wanted to ask you is, what do you think of the rumors coming out of the Seahawks camp that DK Metcalf is taking reps at defensive end?
Okay, I saw videos of it, man. I don't know if I told you, but I'm going back to football this season. I think I have about 4 or 5 years left in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
At least play semi-pro. I'm looking at I took some reps at both defense and offense, but I'm looking at the way receivers come off the line. Okay, a lot of people don't think about this through route running. They have a DB in front of them in their first 5 yards. People don't think about this. All right, they're pushing and shoving each other. Right after the 5 yards, the DB is no longer allowed to touch the receiver. Right.
Mm-hmm.
In those 5 yards, okay, a lot happens. Okay, but these are also the fastest guys on the team. Okay, the receivers and DBs. They're the number ones and number twos. Your first corner, your second corner, your first receiver, second. They're just jamming each other up, and then he goes off to his route. I think this is what he was doing, and I think he's getting more practice on what defensive guys can do. And I think in his knowledge, in my opinion, that he's taking more reps with the DBs in order to get himself free off of the line. Will we see him at defense? No way.
He wasn't doing it with the DBs. He was working defensive line.
The lineman, right.
Which is kind of the same thing, I think.
Well, for
to an
him,
extent,
because he's a monster.
Yeah, but I think he's big enough he could do it.
Well, yeah. But I mean, would it be funny if they're like up by like 20-something points in the fourth quarter, the last minute? Hey, DK, go play D end or something. I don't know.
I'd like to see it.
How crazy would it be if he got like a strip sack though?
I
like,
mean,
oh, nice good
we
defensive
obviously
points.
know he could pursue the guy. If you haven't seen the DK Metcalf pursuit Buda Baker,
yeah,
that's definitely a clip you should see. But no, I don't see him playing DBs at any safety at all. But I think this is why he was doing it. As a receiver aspect, there's a lot happens within the first 5 yards. But that's just from my opinion what I think.
Well, that's what a lot of people were saying. They were just doing it so they could get better on offense. But I just thought it was an interesting thing to do because you don't see other receivers really doing that. So
yeah. So next week it's basically crunch time. We'll probably start talking about the season. Start sit questions because right after our show, the following day will be Steelers, Cowboys, Cowboys, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So very interesting. I can't wait to see Micah Parsons in his debut as his number one, as the first actual game.
Yep.
Not preseason.
1 week.
Yep. Exactly. What, 8 days from now?
He won't get that call telling me he has to come out. He won't be upset about it. Did you see that video?
No.
There's a video where the
the
defensive coordinator was like, "Yeah, you're coming. Oh, do I have to? Can I just? I was just
Yeah.
getting
He wants
started."
to play, man.
I think it was on Hard Knocks. Yeah.
Yeah, it was on Hard Knocks. He was
I think
begging
it
to
was
go
you or
back
someone
in.
told me, yeah.
It was funny.
All right, well, that's it, man. Next week,
Perfect.
well, we just mentioned it. Sunday we'll be doing our draft with our Nerd Huddle League. I know we'll all be part of that, so we'll be talking about the Tank, our producer, see what he has it set up. That should be some fun and a little bragging rights within our show. But other than that, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever the hell you're at. This is Dynasty Pylon, and I will catch you guys next week, 6 p.m. See you then.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate.